Hey, Algebra 2, here we are at lesson 55. Happy Thanksgiving. A Thanksgiving gift to you is odd problems only on this lesson. Let's see if I already put odd problems only, because then maybe it's not that big of a Thanksgiving gift. Okay, it does say odd problems only for Just Junior and Paula because they have trabajo social stuff this week, but go ahead. Everyone, odd problems only because it's Thanksgiving. Woo! Okay, here we go. Lesson 55. It's not super hard. You just have to pay attention to what's going on, right? Oh my word, this is the craziest thing ever. We were just doing this in Algebra. We're doing the exact same thing in Algebra Wednesday. Okay, so here we go. All you're doing, guys, is solving for M. Okay, solving for M. So what you do is you guys did this in Algebra 1, obviously, because that's what we're doing right now at the end of the book. You have variables, all these variables in an equation, right? You have to solve for the letter that they tell you to. You can solve for any letter in this thing, but you have to solve for the letter that they tell you to, okay? So here we go. They tell you to solve for the letter M. So you're just going to get everything off to the other side, get M by itself to solve for it, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is take this whole thing and put it over here. So I'm going to put y over m equals k minus a plus b over x. Okay. Now I'm going to get a common denominator down here, which is x, to combine these two terms together, okay? So it's kx, because that's what it was called, minus a minus b, okay? You might as well do that because you need to apply the negative to both the a and to the b. And then you have y over m. You need to get m by itself, and you can't just divide the y because the m is on the bottom, right? So I'm going to crisscross and multiply. I'm going to write it over here. That gives you xy equals m times, don't distribute it, kx minus a minus b. Now all you have to do is divide this off of it and put it over here. All you guys are doing, guys, is following the rules of algebra with just letters involved to get one letter by itself. That's all that's going on. So your answer is xy over kx minus a minus b, okay? Let's look at example 2. There's no need for me to stop the video, etc., etc., etc. We can just go in and write this down quickly. And it cracks me up that literally this is the exact same lesson that was in the Algebra 1 lesson. Okay, so you're solving for x. What I would do, just so you don't forget, I would just make a habit of putting your parentheses around that d plus e to keep that together if there's a negative that needs to be distributed. In this one, there's not, okay? You're going to solve for x. So I'm going to move this thing over here first. So now I'm going to write it d plus e over x equals d minus mp over c. My common denominator is c, so you have dc minus mp is d plus e parentheses over x. Crisscross and multiply, okay? Crisscross and multiply, so you're going to have. Now in this case, I'm going to distribute the c and the d because that's not what I have to keep by itself. So I'm going to have c times d plus e. So I'm going to have cd plus ce equals x over dc minus mp, okay? And then I'm going to put that dc minus mp over here, okay, for that to be the answer, okay? If you ever have, look at example 2 on the answer. If you ever have where like the DC and the MP are switched, even though they're negative, text me the answer and I will let you know whether or not it's correct or not. Because sometimes in these, your negatives are going to get wonky depending on how you solve the problem. And it's literally the exact same thing. It's just that sometimes you have to factor out that negative and other forms you don't. So if you get almost the exact same answer, but your negatives are a little off, text me the answer and I can verify with you whether or not it was because you got confused on a negative or because the answer is correct but in a different form, okay? Okay, look at example 3. You're solving for A this time. Okay, solving for A. So now I'm going to move this over here first. So I have d over a plus b equals p minus mx over y. I'm going to make a common denominator here as y. That's py minus mx equals d over a plus b. Okay? I'm going to put this in parentheses so I don't forget to keep it alone, and crisscross and multiply. Over here, that means I'm going to have dy equals, let's do it the other way, just so you can see, not because it makes a difference. A plus b times py minus mx equals dy. Divide by py, I should have put that one in parentheses too. Divide by py minus mx. Okay, now you have one thing left. Let me erase this so you can see. You have this, but a plus b equals this, and you only need to have a there. So you need to move the b over here. So your answer is going to be this whole thing minus b. So now you have to find the common denominator again, okay? Which is going to be py minus mx, right? And this is one of the ones where it's going to come out flip-flopped in the book. So then you have dy, nothing was called to there, and then you have minus b times all this. So I'm just going to distribute it. Minus bpy plus, because you have a negative and negative, bmx, okay? And if you look at your answer, you have the same thing, except your negatives are different, and that is okay. Watch, look at this on the top. They have a positive bpy, and I have a negative. But then they have a negative dy, I have a positive. They have a negative bmx, and I have a positive. And then down at the bottom, I have a positive mx, they have a negative, and I have a they have a positive mx, I have a negative, and they have a negative py, and I have a positive. When every single one of them is switched, that means it's the exact same answer. It's just that you have to take out a negative 1 if you want to factor it the way that they did, and it is not necessary to do. Okay, guys? So that one is messy, but honestly, the only difference is that when you have the A over here, you still have the B connected, so you have to move that over here and do another finding of the common denominator, okay? The book just went about it in a different way, which means that they came out with different negatives and different positives, but it literally is the exact same answer, so I'm glad that you were able to see that, okay? Look at example 4. Example 4 is really nothing different than normal. Paula's favorite, right? Okay, consecutive integers. So we'll just see what the difference is. Maybe it's just how they're asking for you to write the equation. Look at example 4. Find 3 consecutive integers such that the product, okay, so 3 consecutive integers. It doesn't say anything about evens and odds. So you just go n plus 1, n plus 2. That the product of the first and the third. Product of the first and the third. So I know what's different about these. You're going to have an n squared. The product, that means multiply the n, the first and the third, is 4 greater than 4 times the second. Okay, so let's see what we get here. We get n squared plus 2n equals 4 plus 4n plus 4. Okay? We're going to have to get everything on one side equal to 0, right? So we're going to move everything over here. First of all, this is 8 now. So I'm going to move it's going to be n squared minus, you minus the 4n, 2n minus 4n is negative 2n minus 8 equals 0. Okay, then you're going to factor that. I'm going to factor it over here, because I don't have any room over there. It's going to be n and n. What factors of negative 8 are going to add up to equal negative 2? 8 and 1, no. 2 and 4, yes. So you're going to put 2 and 4 here. The bigger one has to be negative, so you can get a negative 2. Let's test it. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. Negative 4 plus 2 is 2. So then you equal that to 0. So your answer is n equals negative 2. And n equals 4. So watch what you have right here. You needed consecutive integers. Now you have 2 sets of consecutive integers because you had an n to the 2 right here. So your answers are negative 2, negative 1, 0, and then the other one, 4, 5, 6. Those are your 2 answers. And you're like, Miss Jessica, how did you get that? Look, you can do this. You can just do consecutive. You just add 1 each time. Or you can go like this, negative 2 is n, negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1, negative 2 plus 2 is 0. 4 is n, 4 plus 1 is 5, 4 plus 2 is 6. And that is your answer. Go ahead and do the practices and see if you get the right answers when we check it. Okay, let's do it on the practice. Letter A is x times m plus s on the top over xt minus a. Or on the top it could be xm plus xs, okay? The section never can decide if they're going to distribute or not distribute, so you can have either form. Letter B, cx plus ayz minus xz over sx minus ay. And C is 5, 6, 7, and negative 2, negative 1, and 0. Stick around if you need an explanation. If not, bye. Okay, so look right here on letter A. We are solving for P. So I'm going to move this over here first. So it's going to be M plus S over P equals T minus A over X. So I'm going to put common denominator of X. That's going to be TX minus A. Crisscross and multiply, but let's put everything in parentheses so we don't lose it. That's going to be P. We're solving for, P. So that's the one that we're not going to distribute. We'll put PT, X minus A, equals XM plus XS. I did distribute this, so that's not what we're solving for. And then we just divide it over here by TX minus A. Boom, okay? Over here, we're solving for M. So let's move this over here and make it a common denominator. C plus M, C over M plus C equals, put an X, X on the bottom. So it's going to be SX minus AY, because this is going to become a negative AY over X. Okay? Then you're going to crisscross and multiply again. Let's put everything in parentheses so we don't lose it. Ooh, this one's going to be beautiful. What are we solving for here? I keep forgetting. M. Okay, this one's cute because both the parentheses are together. So we're going to have M plus Z, parentheses times SX minus AY equals CX. We just divide the SX minus AY over here. But then we're still left with the Z on the M that we don't want. So we have to minus the Z and then make another common denominator. SX minus AY. So it's going to be CX minus Z SX plus AZY. We are distributing this by this to get it up here because it was falta for the common denominator. Wow, that's a mouthful, okay? Honestly, guys, if you are confused by that concept, I'm not going to even tell you. Process it, process it. It's a big fat relajo on a video, I think. If you need me to make you a video where I do it on the notebook paper so that you can see it better and you can see the little details that maybe you're confused on, text me and I will do that for you, okay? Letter C, find 3 consecutive integers. Ooh, but if you do that, I'm going to do it on Friday, okay? If you need a video, I'll send you like a personal video on Friday because I don't know how available I'll be on Thanksgiving Day because, you know, with us we do a dinner, right? Because that's the tradition of the gringos. So, I'm probably not gonna like be by my phone a lot after like 1 o'clock. Okay? Heart, love you. Thank you for understanding. Okay, letter C. Find 3 consecutive integers such that the product of the first and the third is 5 greater than 5 times the second. So we have n plus 1, n plus 2. The product of the first and the third is 5 greater than 5 times the second. Okay? N squared plus 2n equals 5 plus 5n plus 5. Move all that to one side. N squared minus 3n when we move the negative 5 over here. Minus 10 when we put 5 and 5 together and move it over here equals 0. The factors of that are going to be x minus 5 and x plus 2. Let's check it. Negative 5 plus 2 is negative 10. Negative 5 plus 2 is negative 3. So that's going to be x equals 5 and x equals negative 2. So we do our consecutive integers. It's 5, 6, 7, and negative 2, negative 1, and 0. Okay? Let me know if you need any help. Bye. Happy Thanksgiving again.